All right, so I've been thinking about this thing. Um, Kind of came up today, actually. Me and my brother were talking. Um, the Anheuser-Busch, Dylan Mulvaney situation. It's sort of only one example of corporations that appear to be sabotaging, self-sabotage, right? Um, so you can see here this little thing I created here. Wanted to discuss this situation, like why, and I've wrote some notes down here to kind of go through. So bear with me. So why would Anheuser-Busch put Dylan Mulvaney on its beer cans and completely decimate its customer base? There is a complex and nuanced answer. One reason is that, contrary to popular opinion, we do not live in a capitalist economy. We live in a fascist one, a society in which every corporate function is regulated and runs through the auspices of government. Government used to be in the business of busting monopolies. Now it's in the business of establishing and protecting monopolies. I mean, they are too big to fail, after all. Beggars can't be choosers. And when it comes to the government, the citizens are always beggars. The government has become the surrogate customer of all the largest corporations, as these corporations can be destroyed or damaged by the next congressional legislation or bureaucratic edict. Corporations and government have this in common. They are both in the business of manipulating the masses through propaganda. One calls their propaganda campaigning, the other advertising. Corporations don't fear losing customers. They fear losing political investments that their lobbyists have paid for. So these corporations no longer have the perspective of a business attempting to curry goodwill from their customers. They now take the perspective of their government partners. And in government, the citizens are not customers, they are workload. Chores and animals on the government farm, where the crops are votes and taxes. Another reason is that corporations want college graduates to employ into positions of power. This makes sense, except for the fact that the universities are more interested in creating postmodernist, multi-gendered, social engineers than they are business administrators. These indoctrinated sheep are let loose on society with all the self-righteousness of biblical Pharisees. They look at themselves as ministers of the gospel of social justice, a gospel that seeks to promote one's self as the caring, magnanimous ones, while denouncing all those deplorables whose opinions differ as morally insufficient. They are the ones who are the liberators of the people from the bondage of white cisgendered patriarchy. They care for the victims by publicly pointing the finger at the so-called victimizers. So Anheuser-Busch hires these self-righteous idiots whose marketing scheme is to trot out and promote a victim, thereby pointing the finger at every single one of their customers whose opinion is opposite of the company's. Divisive ridicule, free with every can sold. I hate to beat a dead horse here, but this shows the spiritual nature of the conflict. As I mentioned, the left are now the ones preaching from the rooftops at the masses, replacing the true gospel for a false one that worships man. A gospel that takes what God has made and calls it flawed and offers up a new covenant. Instead of circumcision, where one cuts a small portion off, they cut off the whole damn thing. Now that's zealousness. Just like there is a new gospel, there is a new God. The God of self. Whereas the real gospel is one of picking up one's cross and dying to self, this new gospel is a race to crucify others, to compare or to compete as the victim or the advocate of the victim in the Victim Olympics. A perversion of justice. A worldly system of justice is one that abuses the poor and enables the rich. This is one of the things that was demonstrated at Calvary. There is no new thing under the sun, and just like in the days of Jesus, today in this realm of cancel culture, the victimizers go around patting themselves on the back, exalting the proud, while they crucify the decent.